Hello and welcome everyone to this session on latest innovations in M7 policy and document management product. Before I go to the actual innovations, let's look at the emerging trends in policy management that are driving these innovations. Artificial intelligence is transforming business in multiple areas. Policy management is no exception to that. Simplifying discovery of relevant policy content for the frontline users, helping authors with relevant content that makes the policy complete. These are areas where artificial intelligence is becoming key to policy management. Engaging the frontline. Frontline users typically make up a large percentage of the policy management user base. Effective policy compliance requires these users to be able to view, access and understand the policies, perform policy tasks like attestations and exception requests easily and without any barriers or friction. This would mean engaging the frontline users at the place where do their work, in the systems of their work and in the interfaces that they are familiar with. Collaboration. In the time of the pandemic, we have seen a significantly increased need for digital real-time collaboration. While this was a trend that was gaining ground prior to the pandemic as well, the pandemic has kind of accelerated that trend. In policy management, this means that authors and reviewers should be able to work on policy review tasks collaboratively, digitally, and in real time. Keeping track or keeping pace with rapidly changing regulations has always been an objective as well as a challenge for policy teams. The pandemic has kind of intensified that. Governments across the globe are making regulatory changes. Businesses are changing the way they operate their business. All this has meant policies need to be updated to keep track and keep current with the changes that are happening around. This kind of brings together all the things that we spoke of. Being able to keep pace with changes would mean that policy teams need to be able to collaboratively work on updating the policies easily, quickly. Being able to engage the frontline with the policy updates and the policy changes so that the frontline knows what has changed and what they'll need to know and what they'll need to do, and making sure that these frontline users get to the relevant policy content quickly and easily. So what are the latest innovations in the policy? What are the latest innovations in MetricStream policy management product that are driven by these trends? First up, around frontline engagement, taking policies to where users are. These frontline users, when they search for policies, they are used to searching for policies and documents that they need for work in places like the intranet or any application that they use for their work, like SAP, Salesforce, etc. That seems more intuitive to them than to going to a separate application just to view policies. And these are also people who would find it easier to use if they are able to use an interface that they are already familiar with to search for policies. This would bring down the need for any, or I would say this would eliminate the need for any training itself. So for these reasons, MetricStream policy management product provides you a capability to have a policy widget that you can place on a site like intranet or any third-party application, so that you take policies to where users are and where users live their work lives. So this makes it easier for them to access policies, and this reduces any need for any training, as it's already in an interface that they are already familiar with. AI-powered intent-based policy search. This is again in the direction of simplifying policy search and helping the frontline users discover relevant policy content. Typically, in policy search, which has been a keyword-based search, people look for policies, and this system gives you results where the policies match the keywords that are searched for. But from a user perspective, when somebody searches for a policy, what they are trying to do is articulating their intent, their intent to find the information that they want. They articulate that intent through a search phrase. The system should be able to present relevant policies, understanding that intent, going beyond the keywords, so that the user is not constrained by what keyword should I use. And the results or the relevant information could be in multiple policies. So present those policies, and within those policies, the user should also be told what are the relevant content within those policies that is appropriate for what you're searching for. Say if I'm looking for how do I enable USB access to my laptop, if I go and search for that information, I should be able to know exactly what in the, for example, say infosec policy, I'll need to know to get what I want, which is to enable USB access, without having to go through the entire policy, which typically runs into multiple pages. So this is what AI-powered intent-based policy search does. It presents users with relevant results by understanding the user's intent that goes beyond keywords. It presents users with relevant content from these policies so that they know quickly and easily what exactly they'll need to know based on what they are looking for. Collaboration. As we spoke of, collaboration is becoming extremely important for policy authoring and review. MetricStream policy management product now provides a mechanism where you can go and work on a policy authoring or a review task simultaneously with multiple reviewers. So you can make updates simultaneously. You can discuss and make those changes digitally and in real time, so that the policy collaboration is easier, quicker, and faster. It does so using Office 365 integration, the advantage of which is that you not only get collaboration, but you also deliver that in an interface that the users are typically familiar with. Now let's look at the demo of these capabilities. First up is the policy search widget, which is around frontline engagement. Here is a reference intranet page or a sample intranet page. In this, we have this policy search widget placed over here. Now from this, I can search for policies straight away over here. If I have logged into the intranet either through SSO, or if I have logged into this policy search widget using the MetricStream credentials, I can get to search the policies directly from here and open it from here itself, so that I don't have to go anywhere. Straight from my intranet, I'm able to access the policies. And I can also look at what are the other policies that have gotten added or updated recently, and also look at the policies that I had bookmarked for frequent access. You can also open these policies from here itself. So what this does is it brings policies to where people do their daily work in places like the intranet. It need not be only an intranet, it can be any other third-party application, like, as I said, a Salesforce or an SAP or Oracle, etc. So that reduces the need for people to go to a separate page or a separate location to access these policies. And it also brings the policies to an interface that they are already familiar with, which eliminates the need for any training. So with this, what this capability does is it breaks any barriers, or it breaks any friction that these users may have had in accessing policies. This policy search widget is powered by the policy search APIs that we make available, so that it takes care of the user authentication. It also takes care of document security, in that through this widget, also you only get to see the policies that you're allowed access to. Moving on to the next capability, which is around the AI-powered search. So this is an interface where we can go search for policies in the MetricStream policy management product. So now, if I were to search with a classic search, or what we call the keyword search or the classic search, Here, the system searches for the keywords, these keywords in these policies, and presents appropriate results. Now, the constraints with this is it will only match, or it will only show you policies where this exact keyword is there. And again, as I said, these keywords may or may not be the ones exactly used in the policies, but the user is only here providing or articulating what he's intending to search. And I have to go through these policies to find out what is relevant within those for me. Enter AI powered smart search. What this does is it looks at this search phrase and understands what in the relevant policies is this, which policies have semantically similar content. It does so using natural language processing based algorithms and presents you relevant policies. In this case, it has just one policy that is semantically relevant to what is being searched over here. And it also presents the snippets from these policies, which tells you what in these policies are the things that are relevant to what you're searching for. It also gives you the page numbers where you can find them. So you don't really have to go and kind of open this document and make sense out of it. You can straight away look at the content here itself and see what makes sense to you. You can as well open it and go to these pages to see additional details if you want. Or if you want to say, you know what, precautions to be taken during pandemic. Now here there could be multiple policies impacting various things like, you know, how do I conduct meetings, how do I conduct interviews, what happens if I need to travel, etc. So there could be multiple policies which are relevant. If I do the classic keyword based search, I get a few results. But let's switch to smart search. It actually tells me which are the relevant policies and what in those is something that is relevant to you for what you're searching for. This makes the policy search for the frontline users simple and effective because it understands the user's intent going beyond keywords and presents relevant snippets from the policies, so that the information that I'll need to know as a frontline user, I already have at the outset laid out in front of me very clearly. Moving on to the next topic around collaboration. So here, what we have done is, this is the document creation / update form or interface within the MetricStream policy and document management product. So this is used to create and update policies. So here is a document, information security policy, being in the workflow or the life cycle. It's in a 3-stage workflow. It's currently in the 2nd stage, where there are 2 users, Amar and Reena, working on it. We have integrated with the Office 365, Microsoft Office 365, to be able to open this document directly on Office 365 so that you can work with multiple people simultaneously and make changes. So here is where I have logged in as Amar user. I have also logged in as the other user, which is Reena Ryan. Let me log in as Reena Ryan. I can open the same document from here as well. And from here too, I can open the document on Office 365, which says, you know, Amar is working on this document. And both of us, and here it says Reena Ryan is working on it. And you can say, here I can say change made by Amar, and the other user would be able to see this as well. So all the users can collaboratively work on it. They can provide comments that the others can see. They can even discuss over here and provide comments to each other's responses. So what this does is you're able to simultaneously work on the document across multiple reviewers. You also get to do that in an interface that provides rich capabilities around formatting, being able to track changes. And it is also in an interface that most users are already familiar with. So that makes collaboration in the policy authoring / update phase of policy management extremely effective, simple, and fast as well. With that, we come to the end of the product demo. So let's wrap this up by looking at the key business values. So our innovations over the years has been used by customers across the world to make real-time risk-aware decisions to boost business confidence, ensure resilience, and enhance brand reputation. The current set of innovations to go along the same direction by being able to strengthen the compliance culture, by engaging the frontline effectively, by being able to make use of digital collaboration tools to be able to update the policies quickly, seamlessly, so that you can keep pace with the regulatory and other changes that require changes to policies. Thank you for attending this session on latest innovations in the policy and document management product. I hope you find these sessions interesting and useful to your organization. I would also urge you to join the other sessions on innovation, which I'm sure you will find interesting and useful too. Thank you for joining.